And there's a very funny story about Bach's riddles, and that is that towards the end of his life, about the last year, he visits his son, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, who was himself a composer. He visits him in Berlin, and on the night he arrives, he is summoned to the court of then King Fredrick the Great of Prussia. And bear in mind that Bach was readily known throughout Europe at this point, so he was summoned to the court, and the king had a quite difficult riddle for him. But King Fredrick also wanted to actually humiliate Bach, so that's why he gave Bach a theme or a melody that he then wanted Bach to compose a fugue on, and he said that was supposed to be a fugue in 3 voices first, but then 6 voices after that. And that's a near impossible task. So he set out to humiliate Bach. And there's a very interesting thing about this melody. It's a very chromatic melody, which makes it very hard to improvise a fugue on. And there's also some doubt as to where this melody actually arose. So King Fredrick himself was actually a quite good flute player, but we kind of doubt that it was him because he was not that good of a composer himself. But we did think, or many scholars think, that it is actually his son, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, that composed this melody, because he was actually working for King Fredrick at this time. So that adds a sort of another layer of the story. But anyway, so Bach is summoned to the court. He's given this melody, told to improvise a fugue in 6 voices, which, bear in mind, is very difficult, and that this fugue probably comes from his son. But nevertheless, Bach ends up sitting down and actually does this fugue in 3 parts first, and then he actually refuses to do the one in 6 parts. But later he actually invites Fredrick to a concert in one of the local churches where he had arranged to play a smaller concert. And what happens is Bach is sitting at the organ, there are a few other musicians, and Fredrick comes in, and then Bach says, okay, now I have the fugue in 6 parts. And then he hands him a flute, right? And that was sort of bringing the whole humiliation back on Fredrick there. And that then resulted in Fredrick smashing his flute in the floor, and then Bach getting quite infuriated because he would not be witness to an instrument being destroyed. And I think many people would agree that it'd be quite interesting to see what Bach was actually playing. What music did he actually play? What music did he improvise? And we do actually know it because when he got home again, he actually wrote it down. And this is the very famous piece called the Musikalische Opfer. But Bach wrote down his piece and later reconciled with the king. And since then, like I said before, it's become one of the most famous pieces.